Kelly's Court is back in session. On the docket today, a war of words in a divorce case, with the explosive outburst coming from the judge, who went after the preacher husband, seen sitting here on screen left, and then refused to recuse himself from deciding the case. Judge William Watkins III ranting against the Reverend Arthur Hague, accusing Mr. Hague, who's having a bitter divorce with his wife, who's over there at the other table, of leaking a picture of the judge's home to his news blog, because apparently this man doesn't get along with the judge. The judge's tirade so loud it was hard for the courtroom cameras to even capture. Listen here.
Disabled, she's dead alone. And you just fucking piece of, you put up our picture in my house. Because of you, my wife is dead alone. My house has been vandalized 4 times. You realize that, of course, because I'm sure you're probably in on laughing about it. I swear to you, you're responsible. You are responsible. I'm holding you personally responsible for anything that happens at my house.
Objection? Now that judge is accused of abusive conduct and could be facing big fines and a suspension without pay. Joining me now, Joey Jackson, former prosecutor, now defense attorney, and Mercedes Cohen, who is a Fox News legal analyst. Move to strike.
Unbelievable.
Have you ever found yourself on the receiving end of that, Joey?
Yeah, once or twice. You know, it happens occasionally. But, you know, he clearly had a meltdown, and it does occur. Look, he was wrong, and of course the Reverend was wrong. I'm not saying that to say 2 wrongs make a right. I'm saying that to make everyone understand what we all know, and that is we're human. And as humans, we have bad days, and he had a tipping point. I would only hope that his conduct is evaluated on balance, not just what he did on this day when clearly he perhaps stepped over the bounds a little. Does he deserve to lose his job over it? Absolutely not. Look at all the good that he could have, you know, conceivably done as a judge, and the commission should look at that.
Oh my God!
That he could have conceivably done. All right, you know, the thing is, Mercedes, he was upset, and if this man indeed did leak his own home, he hadn't paid his homeowners association dues according to the defendant. And the judge suspected the defendant of leaking that to the local paper. His wife is at home. She's disabled. The judge is not happy that his home gets vandalized and so on and so forth. But does that justify the judge saying things like number 2, soundbite number 2, stand by.
Please understand that I will resign this bench. And I will personally see to it that you never see a free day in your life. You understand that? You're going to jail. I swear to God.
I can't stop laughing. I'm sorry, Megan. This is just absolutely insane. You're never going to see another free day as long as you live. You will be locked up forever. You are done. I mean,
Judge, I'm just trying to get a divorce.
Get him I mean, is that unbelievable?
Wow.
Hey, I'm sure the administrative judge is saying, get this guy off the bench. And by the way, we better start pulling those transcripts on those other cases, because this wildness that he exhibited may have been done in other cases. It is completely out of control.
But the thing is, and by the way, he was threatening to put the guy in jail, not because of what he did to the judge, but because apparently he violated some protective order that was in place in the divorce proceeding. But Joey, what could happen to this judge? Because I am being told now that he cannot be removed from the bench because of the West Virginia code.
Yes, well, a couple of things. The first thing I'd like to say is I've appeared before Mercedes when she was a judge before, and she never spoke to me in this way. She saved that for off camera. Just kidding, Mercedes. But look, the point is that
I love you then, Joey. Still love you.
There'll be proceedings against him. Is there a removal proceeding as a result of the code that you cite? No, not at all. However, there could be, as you mentioned, the loss of pay. There could be some types of suspension. But in terms of his removal, I don't think it's warranted at all. I mean, look, this is one outburst. Should we evaluate someone on a snippet of their life, or should we take the whole picture of who they are?
Well,
and
technically,
that gives
it was several outbursts over the course of at least 15 minutes. And the defendant, says he's got another. This happened to him a second time in court. Mercedes, the judge came out. You know, you're supposed to have the appearance of impartiality in these cases. You're supposed to not be favoring one side or the other. I mean, he was giving the wife everything she wanted in that particular proceeding. Right. And then he went out and admitted that he's got a personal problem with the defendant. Listen to this soundbite.
Well, buddy, it's personal. It is personal. You have threatened my family, and I promise you, you will not hear the end of it from me.
how does the judge not have to recuse himself from deciding the case, which he's refused to do?
Someone's got to give him a mental health test. I mean, seriously, if you think you're so biased in this situation, of course recuse yourself. I'm surprised that that he didn't jump up and say, recuse yourself, Your Honor. I'm sure he was afraid he was going to get a gavel.
Because the judge said it for him. The judge in another part of the tape says, I'm going to recuse myself. And then he says, oh, no, I'm not.
But look at the mitigation here. Look at what's happening. You have a disabled wife who's at home. As a result of this reverend's conduct, the home is being vandalized. The wife is scared to death. This is a reverend who, of course, violated a previous order by talking about the mental illness of his wife. This is outrageous conduct on the part of the litigant. Does it justify what the judge did? No. But take it in context.
We don't know that the house was vandalized as a result of what the reverend did. But, Mercedes, when the judge is this ticked off at somebody, even if this guy did all these bad things to the judge, is the remedy not for the judge to step down, reassign the case to somebody else, and pursue any civil or criminal remedies he may have against the defendant?
Absolutely. You've got contempt of court. He should be brought up on charges for contempt of court. The reverend would spend a couple of days in the clinic.
And the judge would be in the cell next to him.
Sitting there and doing
I gotta go.
Forget it.